Welcome back to Avalon and Ninth. Please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is week 42 of 52 weeks of Halloween. What? How? I know I've said this for the past few weeks, but how are we getting so close to the end? Oh my gosh. So, it is Halloween month, and I have used so far, I have used a couple, let's see, at the beginning of the end of September, beginning of October, I didn't use one of my kits. But last week I used it with foil, and this week I'm using another kit that's in the shop with foil as well. So if you watched my video the other day, you will have noticed that I had talked about reorganizing my foil collection, and I did. And one of the things that was truly amazing about that, and I'm so glad that I did, is I was able to look at what foil I could use with this kit, which is what you saw me holding up at the beginning of this video. So I said that I've never had no desire to use, like, I don't know what you would call them, bougie boxes where they go under everything, and so that way you have all the foil peeking through between your stickers. That totally is not my jam. It's not something I would seek after, but I use it in this spread because you can't really knock it until you try it. And the foil collection that I chose was one of the subscriptions. I can't remember exactly what month subscription it was. It was only I think it was August subscription, but I could be completely wrong. But anyways, the full box overlays came with a lot of images, or like a lot of small confetti type stuff on it. So I was like, you know what? This last week was really just filled with something just happening, but took a lot of hours during the day. And so I really didn't have anything extra to put in this planner besides anything else that I'd already been doing. So I was like, you know what, this is a perfect spread to be able to experiment with using these types of boxes to see if it is anything that I like. And it was time consuming. I will give it that. It was time consuming, and it was annoying in some aspects because the perforation, sometimes it won't tear on the perforation and it tears the box next to you, and I didn't have a lot of other plans, so I don't know. I will try it one more time to be like, is this something I could do with certain types of spreads? But overall, I'm not a fan. So there you see me open that reusable sticker book. So I have these perforated date dots from Rose Colored Days. I just got them. They're supposed to be in my October haul, but I don't think I'm going to do an October haul. In fact, I'm pretty positive that I'm not going to do an October haul because I started filming it, which I never do. I always film them at the end of the month, but I wanted to start using things. But anyways, and get some organization done. And that video for just the first part turned out to be 45 minutes and a lot of rambling and just not, I'm rambling right now, so what's the point? But at least with this, I can speed it up, so you only have to listen to me ramble for a short amount of time. Anyways, I wanted foil date dots that made things easier when I did want to use foil, because I do want to use the foil. That's what I have it for, but I'm not a huge bougie box fan. Probably because one, time consuming, and two, it just adds a lot more thickness to the spread. So the one thing that I can definitely tell is that with last week's spread having foil on top of it, and then this one having the foil underlays on it, and then a sticker on top of those foil, I can tell in those areas it feels much thicker. So it is what it is. We'll figure it out. And for some reason, I decided to go backwards on how to lay down the date covers. So apparently we're just doing things how we want to do things. it is what it is. So I'll give like doing underlays another shot at another time, maybe with a Christmas spread. I think that would be really pretty with a Christmas spread. But because I didn't have a lot of plans, this does kind of fill in some of that area, if that makes sense. So anyways, let's get on to the plans. So I kind of just work it like one page at a time. So I'm gonna kind of like work the overlays on there or underlays. How would you, I guess since they're going under things, they would be underlays. But most of the time we talk about them because they're overlays. So I don't know. It might be an interchangeable. And then I had a little like rogue sticker something sitting there. So like it was a sticker that was like, nope, I'm not staying. And I tried to not use any whiteout in this spread. So I tried to not use any whiteout in the spread. Sorry, my wrist just buzzed and need to see who that was. But in the spots where it probably needed whiteout, I was able to just like put a sticker over it. And then this was definitely the thing of like needing to be like, oh, didn't have enough room there. I should have put the pink glitter header right up against that underlay up there and then moved it up, and then I would have made that green glitter header just hit perfectly on top of that other foil underlay. So, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm just kind of going through and doing like all of this first before I like start adding any plans in, because I didn't know how any of this was going to go and anything like that. So you see how I had that underlay there, and you could see those dotted lines poking through. That's where I just kind of moved the glitter header up to cover those, because I was not going to lift anything up and I was not going to white anything out. Like the only place I was whiting things out was the things that I have been whiting out throughout this whole 52 weeks. Like that was my level of commitment to whiting out anything. So but yeah, I mean, they're super, super pretty. So this definitely adds like some depth and dimension, but it did take a lot of time, and it did take, obviously the effort to go through and do it all. And then I added these foiled frames around every full box as well, just to kind of just keep going. I had originally pulled it out to where I was going to use the headers, and I was going to foil the glitter headers as well. And in hindsight, I mean, it's really hard to see the foil on glitter headers. So I should have probably used like the patterned washi instead of the glitter headers, and then have done the foiled header things, but it is what it is. So, and then I used all of the deco and icons from the kit to be in here. I didn't pull in any other character stickers. I just used what was in the kit because it was already so busy enough. I didn't want to detract by adding in something that may not match the kit very well. So, like I said, I'm not putting down a whole ton of plans in here because I'm spending so much time with these underlays. So on Monday, it was definitely a time for work. That's really all we did on Monday was work. And when I say we, my oldest was with me. So last week, we had all sat down, had a family discussion about the amount of work that needed to be done, and they wanted to maintain their activities, so we decided to take an off week from school. The way that I work my schedule with schooling anyways, and how we are able to school year-round, we were able to take that week off. And I regularly schedule times for us to take off a week at a time, not just a couple of days. And I'm not opposed to doing school on the weekends either. So for us, learning never really stops. We just may not do formal, like, sit down school. But anyways, so Monday, time for work, and then that evening they had taekwondo. And the way that I made sure that, like, the little hexagons and other dots at the bottom were not showing through is I just put our you're not going to be hangry, so to mark dinner. And then on Tuesday, it was another long day, and we only had one more day to go. So my oldest son helped me out tremendously in getting this huge project done. Props to him. He was an amazing kid. So he learned a lot, and we just talked economics and things like that throughout the day and time management skills. And then Tuesday was trash day, so I just marked to take out the trash. Wednesday was payday for us, so mark that. It was also a really huge laundry day, so I end up marking that as well. And no sense in writing when I can just layer an icon over. And then dance and taekwondo was that evening as well. And then because I didn't put that hangry sticker down at the very bottom, I just moved it right above that glitter header just to kind of keep everything going. So I do the same kind of thing over on this page. I start doing everything, like, instead of going day by day, it's like, okay, let's work on the underlays. So same thing as I did as the first half of the week, I'm just doing on this part of the week to make everything just a little bit easier for me. I like to work in order like that. I don't like to jump back and forth between tasks too often, especially when it's something that's new to me. Like, I've got to, okay, how's this going to work? I need to figure this out, all that jazz. So, yeah. So, we ended up having pizza on Thursday night. That was not the intention. We had every intention of making these creamy chicken enchiladas, and when I went to pull out everything, I was missing items. So it was like, you know what, we don't have time. I'm not running to the store. I'm exhausted. The boys in the morning had their Dungeons and Dragons Zoom. So their friend just moved over to England, and they still want to keep up their D&D, their Dungeons and Dragons group going. But that means that my kids then have to do D&D in the morning because it's evening time over there in England. So that's what they were working on. I then had to go run out for a meeting with one of the program coordinators for my son's EFMP program. So that's what I had to do. And then I came back home and I went with my neighbor and we went out to vote. So that was very, very important there. But I'll be honest, I was exhausted. Granted, I would not have gone and done any of that stuff on Thursday. I wouldn't have gone to the meeting and I wouldn't have went out to vote if I hadn't gotten my project done by Wednesday. So, but because I was not going to run anywhere because I've already been out and about a ton that day and I was exhausted and we didn't have stuff to eat, I was like, you know what? Oh no, it wasn't to have chicken enchiladas. It was to have that cowboy casserole. I was like, I'm not going out to buy one item to do this. We're ordering pizza and that's the end of it. Anyways, moving on to Friday. On Friday, we had cowboy casserole. I did end up going to the store that morning and buying a couple of things for groceries so that we could have dinner that night because was way too much eating out this last week. So definitely try not to do too much of that. But yes, on Friday, I was just exhausted. And there's nothing more that could just say it than with a purple sticky note with witch's feet sticking out of a cauldron. Like, seriously. Just exhausted. So, like I said, I'm trying to do like the plan as you go. As you can see, I started trying to do that, but we altered just a little bit. So, and I'll say this, it was a little, going back and forth wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, I don't enjoy it, but it wasn't like horrible either for that Thursday and Friday. But anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. And on Friday evening, we had to prep for our road trip. So we were taking a road trip out towards Houston to drop off some items to Aaron. So had to get prepped for that and make sure that everybody was ready to go for the next day, because I did not want any hiccups. Hiccups are not what are needed on the first part of a road trip, ever. So, and then this kit did come with a double box, so I just added that to the weekend, and this is then, now it's time to just finish off these underlays now that those 2 full boxes are down, and that was easy peasy lemon squeezy. So even though I did do like a plan as I go on Thursday and Friday with those underlays, I will say mapping it out and knowing where you want your full boxes, I would say, is essential to knowing where you're going to place these underlays, and getting that out of the way first is just makes everything just so much better. It really does. So I will try this again. Like I said, I will try this again, and maybe with a different style, but overall it's just not my thing. Maybe I need to add more foil in other places. I don't know. Is there any such thing as too much foil? I like very little foil. I'm really just like bottom washi and full boxes. That works for me. And that's really just all I want. So, you know, I'm okay with that. So then I just marked the things that we had for dinner on Saturday and Sunday, and then put the weekend banner up at the top. So sometimes I go back and forth in with designing kits where both weekend banners will have the word weekend in them, and sometimes it's just one weekend banner that has the word weekend in it, and then the other one is kind of related to the kit. I go back and forth. It's just, yeah, it is what it is. And then, like I said, met up with Aaron that Saturday morning, so we had to get on the road a little bit early to be there, and we got there pretty early considering that it was raining, so I was okay with that. And then came back home and rested for a little bit, or took a rest for a little bit, and then menu planned and ordered groceries. We were like on the bare minimum, so it was definitely a yo-yo night of like, whatever you can find in here, get it for you. If you want breakfast for dinner, we're having breakfast for dinner. If you want a peanut butter sandwich, that's what you can have. Granted, most of us were still very, very full from the lunch that we had that afternoon, so we really didn't eat much of anything. It was so good though, guys. Oh my gosh, it was so good, that meal. So, and then on Sunday, I just went in the morning to pick up groceries, and then it was a prep day. Sundays are always prep days for me. I try to do as much prep as possible to make sure that the week is great coming up, and it just makes things just a little bit easier for me, because by the end of the week it's hard. So I ended up tearing a couple of foiled overlays. So like I don't have any of the overlays with the frames on the boxes. I ended up tearing a couple, so then I had to, because the way that these alternated, I only wanted the silver ones, and there was like silver and gold in here, so it would be like silver, silver, gold, gold, silver, silver, gold, gold, and I ripped a silver one, and that rip went over into the second silver one, so I had to get rid of those two. And then I had to take the 2 gold ones off to put in my reusable sticker book so I can use them later, so that I could get to the silver ones. And then another 2 gold. Like, that was a hot mess going on right there. And that's the only bad thing about all of this, is that it will, if you tear them, sometimes you're then going to have to tear more off to be able to get to the ones that you want. So that's the only downside to having these as compared to having them on like a sticker sheet. But I will say, you get so many overlays on these rolls that I have no problem tearing a couple and having to be like, let's rip some more off and put them in a reusable sticker book to get to what I want. Have no problem, because you get so many. There will be some themes in these that I will never get through. ever, because there's just no possible way. So at the beginning of this year, I want to say there was like a Valentine spread one. There's no way. There is no way that I will get through it, because I don't use a lot of lovey-dovey kits, and so there's just no way that I'm going to get through ones that say love and hearts and things like that. So, but like these ones, this is like stars and confettis. Yeah, I can get through this. So I just went ahead and I put these two overlays or underlays here. I didn't even bother whiting out because I wanted to see how it looked. I can see why people white out. But then I don't do anything else in the sidebar because, why? Why bother? So now I'm just cleaning up and then zooming out to show you how it turned out. Like I said, it turned out okay. I'm going to have to give it another try. But until then, we'll see ya.